Hello on this Saturday, and also welcome to my 21 video in my 50 video series. Today I want to talk a little about my past trips to India and also briefly touch upon what I should be looking for or what my goals should be for my future trip to come. So, yeah, back in 1999, that was the first time that I actually went back to India since my adoption. And I went there with my parents and my sister on this 2 week holiday in Goa. And when I think about that trip, I don't really recall that I gave it too much of a thought. I mean, I did experience some of India, but it was not something that had a large impact. That first began some years later. That is also why that I, at one point in my life, started to study at the university, which kind of led me to this trip to India, or my longest trip to India in 2005. Yeah, but I want to show you this picture from Goa. This is a picture of a lot of auto rickshaws. And the reason why I'm showing this is because that was the first time that I actually got to experience or saw these auto rickshaw in real life. I don't really recall that I had ever seen something like that before. So that was a fun new thing to try. Yeah. But fast forward to 2005, that was when I went to India for my longest stay. And I went to Delhi and also a place called Dehradun up in the north, because there was this Hindi school that we attended. And after that, I went to Bangalore, Mysore, Hampi, and I believe also Goa again. So yeah, that was the main places I went at that time. So in Delhi, we saw this Hindu temple. Yeah, it's very beautiful, right? So the reason why I'm showing this is because if you look at this, I think people who have been to India or been both in the north and the south, you can see the architecture or the structure is very different. Like this temple in the north is very different from the temple in the south. They look very completely different, right? I just wanted to show that. We also went and saw this Sikh temple. Yeah, I don't really remember so much from it, but yeah, it was kind of nice also. And also in Mysore, I want to show you this picture. Yeah, as you can see, I have a lot more hair on my head, and I think maybe that was the first time that I actually had a dosa in my life. So there's always room for dosa, right? Yeah. So that was from Mysore, and I believe this picture, maybe if I remember correctly, it's from Bangalore, and that is my friend Tom, who I studied with at that time. And I think that, yeah, I think that was in Bangalore, right? So yeah, in 2005, I went to this trip in India for, I guess, a half year or something like that. And then it would take me another 10 years until 2015 before I returned to India. And that was like the first time that I actually ended up in my place, Coimbatore, because I had not been to Coimbatore before, not on the two previous trips. That was actually first in 2015. And I went to that place for the first time in my life since I came to Denmark. And then I went on another trip to India in 2019 and again in 2023. The last trip in 23, I will say this, that I don't think that I regret going there, but I also felt like I was kind of like a little lost because I didn't really knew what I went there for, because my search or my route search was somewhat um, had kind of like decreased, right? Because there wasn't really so much more that I could do. So I had to kind of like figure out what is it that I'm going there for now when it's not for a route search, because most of my trips to India has been more about me and my inner journey than actually an outer journey, right? It has been more about finding myself. So yeah, so I have to kind of like reinvent myself and figure out what can I do if it's not for a route search when going to India. Yeah, and that is also why I think that for my future trip, I kind of like want a more clear direction of what do I want to get out of it, instead of just going for the sake of going, right? So that is kind of like what I wanted to point it out in this video. So in total, I have been to India in 5 times, and the next time will be my 6th time. And hopefully my 6th time can be a little better than my trip in 23, because I feel like the trip in 23 maybe was my least favorite trip of all the time that I went there. So hopefully it will be a little more fruitful in the future trip that I'm going on. So that's that, and don't really have so much more to say, but hope you got a little something out of this video, right? And I guess there's only one thing left for me to say, and that is have a good one, and until next time, take care. Bye.